I will use the next minutes I have to talk about the impact of industrial tree plantations on people and on nature. I will try to say something about how the certification is being done on the field, how the auditing is being done, because there is a big problem there. If I have some time left, I will say something about the formal complaint that we have filed, and in this way we have also been involved in trying to change something without much success, unfortunately. And then I will come to a conclusion. Now, if you, in the case of Veracel, this was the paper company that we have studied in Brazil. When Veracel arrived in the south of Bahia, it's a Brazilian state, it bought 100,000 hectares of land. A lot of it was agricultural land, to plant eucalyptus trees. Now, it did this in a very industrial and efficient way. So if you go to the south of Bahia, everywhere you look, you will see tree plantations, and it's like an army of trees. They grow very thin, they have very little branches, because all of that is just waste. They are bioengineered to grow in 6 years to attain 30 meters, to be ready to be cut down and chopped into pieces by a harvester that does it in 30 seconds. And it's all very well thought about and engineered and planned. And of course you want these trees to grow very fast as possible, so you will need fertilizers. And of course you don't want any other plant than a eucalyptus tree in those plantations, so you will use Roundup by Monsanto and other herbicides. Of course, if you have monocultures, you will have animals and insects and ants maybe that will like them, so you will use pesticides. And then if there are diseases, then you will use fungicides. And this whole chemical cocktail will go into the groundwater, it will go into the rivers, and it will pollute the whole ecosystem. And the people that live near your tree plantation will be upset with it. Indigenous people will complain that that in their rivers fish are floating. They die in the rivers because of the pollution, and they are floating on top of it. Now, eucalyptus is the fastest growing tree, and depending on the study you will read, you will see that it uses between 40 and 200 liters of water every day. Now, Veracel has 833 eucalyptus trees for each hectare, so you can see that it's really a lot of water consumption. So if the south of Bahia, or the south of Bahia is exporting paper, it is actually exporting a lot more water. And so the indigenous people, they are complaining that the ground level of water is depleting, is decreasing, that the level of the rivers are decreasing. Then there is the loss of biodiversity, where you have monoculture that is expanding. Of course, there is an Atlantic rainforest in the area, but there is also deforestation of this rainforest. In the audit reports we have read, it is in the audit reports, you can read it, that Veracel has deforested 1,200 hectares of Atlantic rainforest in the area. And still it was possible for this company to get its FSC label. It has also occupied 3,000 hectares of indigenous land, but still there is no problem to obtain an FSC label, the best certification scheme in the world for forest products. So actually this was only the environmental impact. I will go briefly into the social impact. If you buy 100,000 hectares in a land where land is already, in a country where land is already scarce, where there is already a problem with landless farmers, you will raise the problem of food production even more. Before, Bahia was a net exporter of food. Now it has to import food, because now the area the vocation of the area is to export the commodity, to export cellulose. So food security in the area is at stake. Landless farmers that have the right to obtain land, because there is a land reform in the Brazilian constitution, can just forget that the land reform is like at the stop, because there is always an expansion of eucalyptus trees. So there are really a lot of problems, and these problems aggravate. Now I will show, because I'm talking. No, it's not impossible, because this is not connected. No, I will not show a piece of the film.